We're back! Oh! So I'd forgotten how much energy he has. Any time of the day, energy. So we're back to do a proper tasting, serious tasting of wines from an area of Europe that you may never have come across before.
Oz thinks he gets the pronunciation right. Let's see.
Let's see. Hi, I'm Oz.
And I'm Tom.
And we are here to present for you WineAlive's Summer Sipping Series. So what have we got?
Well, this is it. We're off to the amazing Bosnia Herzegovina, and we're doing it from the Pythouse kitchen garden here in Wiltshire, propping up the bar, Oz, which is all right.
Exactly. I thought we were working for a
position
living.
we're quite comfortable with. This is the thing. So we've got the wines here from Skegro, the producer based down in the far southwest of Bosnia. In fact, we should talk about this.
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is Bosnia?
Very good point.
Yeah. Do you want to take that, or shall I take that?
I'll take that.
Come on, you take that.
All right. This is a great opportunity.
Yeah, it is.
And, two things. The language, Serbo-Croat, really difficult language. The area of the Balkans, really complicated area. So one might say, oh, I can't really understand the label. Not quite sure where exactly Bosnia-Herzegovina is. I'll give it a miss. I'll try something that I know, made from Merlot in
there's
France.
Some Chardonnay there. Fine.
No. The whole point about wines like these is it's your chance to be adventurous. Now, the very first thing, be adventurous about the country, be adventurous about the grape variety. So let's talk about the country. Where is it?
Where is it? What is it? Well, I was on holiday in Croatia not very long ago, and it's incredibly close, right?
It's the neighbour.
You've got the Aegean Sea.
Yeah.
You've got Croatia coming down, which is that coastline, which gets incredibly thin.
It's about this wide.
And just inside of that, Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Loads of mountains.
Exactly.
Loads and loads of mountains. The whole of that inland area. So Croatia goes round like that, and Bosnia is in between. So we have some idea where it is.
Yeah.
Now,
big lakes, big mountains.
Big lakes, big mountains. Sounds like good wine area.
Happy days, exactly.
Well, of course it was.
Well, there we go. 2,000 years. Give or take, of winemaking history, like most of what we have across Europe, the great swathes of kind of classic wine country as we know it. The Romans turned up and brought it with them, and that was it.
Straight roads.
Yeah, exactly
and steam engines and good beer. And no, that was someone else, wasn't it?
That was totally something.
Straight roads, anyway.
The
Romans. It was the Romans. They started, of course.
Yeah. And I think did pretty well out of it. There's good historical record. It's not quite like lovely England where we are, where they turned up and talked about planting the things, but not really got on and talked about the quality of it necessarily. They talked about good quality.
Yeah, they did talk about quality. No one, I don't think any Romans said, my goodness, these are lovely wines in England. No, they did about Bosnia.
Exactly, they did.
And that worked, of course, for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then along came the Ottoman Empire.
Exactly.
And the Ottoman Empire is an Islamic empire. So for hundreds of years, it became a Muslim part of Europe. And then it changed again.
Exactly. So wine goes out the window. And then there's a gentle sort of period where it comes back, right? Austro-Hungarian Empire, all the rest of it. Wine comes back and becomes a big thing.
Not that gentle, of course.
Not that gentle.
Because in Sarajevo, in 1914, a not very gentle act happened in the capital of Bosnia when Archduke, whichever it was, Franz Ferdinand,
I was going to say Ferdinand, exactly.
The Archduke was shot.
Yeah.
And that started the First World War.
Exactly that. And then war is a significant part of the history of Bosnia-Herzegovina and surrounding countries, and which again is another very strong reason, alongside the Ottoman Empire, way before, why we don't think, when we think wine, we don't think Bosnia-Herzegovina. But that doesn't mean there aren't fantastic vineyards. There are historic vineyard sites here. There's a lot of classic sites, but there are modern things as well. The Skegro family here, multi-generational producer, have planted most of their vines since 2005. And so we're talking about vines that are fantastic age now. We're talking about vines that are 20 years old in the main. And crucially, indigenous varieties.
Because they've got some as 50-year-old vines.
Exactly.
But of course, some of the worst fighting in those Balkan wars was in Bosnia-Herzegovina. And some of the worst fighting was around that southern area. And Mostar was one of the siege of Mostar was one of the things we saw on television screens day after day. Mostar is basically the region.
That's it.
That these wineries are in.
Which is literally on that Croatian border. So actually there is sea influence here, there is breeze, there's loads of Mediterranean climatic kind of elements to it. Very hot summers, baking hot summers, freezing cold, very wet winters, big diurnal ranges when you get into the higher areas. And indigenous grape varieties is absolutely key to it. So we're going to taste 3 wines. Is what we're going to do. Let's get one in the glass.
Let's get one in the glass.
This is Žilavka.
I was wondering who was going to say that first.
I know, exactly. I got in.
And it's called.
It is called.
Just show the label and then I'll.
Voila. Go on, have a crack at that.
It's called Bijeli. Now, when I went onto the internet to say, how do I pronounce the word KRS, the internet, in its helpful way, said, this is how you pronounce KRS. KRS. And I just thought, this is what happens when artificial intelligence takes over the world.
I'm not concerned by AI at the moment. I think this is fine.
But it's Bijeli.
Bijeli.
Žilavka. Now that's an ancient.
Oh, you've gone Žil. You've gone Žil. I've gone harder. I've gone harder Z.
Yeah.
When I googled it, I was told it was a sort of
like when you're trying to pronounce Chinese properly, you never get the
exactly,
right.
Exactly.
Okay, what should we say? Žilavka or Žilavka?
Should we go Žilavka?
Split the difference. Sort of half and half. Yep.
Ancient
grape variety.
Ancient.
13th century at least.
Come on, take that. Most varieties that we work with, and. What it does is Žilavka is, it's about leanness, it's about acidity, it's about freshness. They often talk about it having this kind of gently nutty character. Quite a lot of brandy is made in that area. And when they age the brandies and things, they talk about the really lovely natural nuttiness to it.
It's not like sort of Sauvignon Blanc freshness,
no, it's not. No.
It's quite waxy and full in the mouth. And I think this is quite often what happens in those white grape varieties around the Balkans, that they're quite winey. It sounds really silly to say, oh, the wine is winey, but it is, isn't it? Without being able to put your finger on, it would be some kind of yellow fruit.
That's where
very slightly dried yellow fruits.
Exactly that. And there's a little, there's a little stone fruitiness, there's a little orchard fruitiness, there is a little bit of apple in there, not super crisp, super tense, but they're lovely. They're easy drinking. They are mouth-watering. There's a Moorishness to it. There is a sort of almost kind of coastally saline Moorishness that comes through it. Yeah. Delicious things. I don't think it's going anywhere either. No. A year or two in bottle, that'll be fine. That'll keep going.
I don't think it needs to.
No.
I think this is sort of it. Now, there are 2 important things about these people, the Skegro family. Firstly, they've got vineyards on steep terraces. It's only a small vineyard, about 5 hectares, but they're on steep terraces and up to 350 meters high, and they've got limestone at the top of those terraces. And as they say, we sit on the cool terraces, because the higher you go, the cooler it gets.
Of course.
And they say, we sit on the cool, windy terraces, looking south and southwest, and everybody down in the valley is baking hot. Yeah. So this is the sort of the best place to do it. And secondly, they've got a fantastic consultant winemaker from Croatia, one of the best of the young winemakers in Croatia, called Milan Budinski.
Who you judge with.
Who I judge with at the International Wine Challenge, and is an old friend of mine, and is one of the best guys in Croatia.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about that sort of higher altitude, you know, when we were talking before, we were talking about flints, you know, really visible, calcareous, rocky soils. And I suppose all of this is millennia-old marine creatures and fossils and all of that stuff coming through. And you get a bit of that. You get a sensation of that.
When you're in Hampshire, they have enormous flints the size of your fist, and they call them Hampshire diamonds.
Yeah.
And they're coated in chalk. Now, the ones here are coated in limestone, which is strongly related to chalk, does the same job.
Exactly.
Limestone soil produces acid juice, and acid juice means a fresh wine. That's why limestone and chalk are so much
revered.
Yeah.
Let me pour you some of this, fella. Get rid of that thing.
Žilavka again.
We're staying Žilavka. We're back in the Žil. We're back in the Žil. Yeah, here we go.
Oh,
perfect.
wow.
Now look at that colour.
That colour.
So this is the Carsus coarse orange.
Coarse orange.
I was going to say coarse orange. Of course it is not. This is it. Exactly. Certainly not. Coarse orange. And what I love about this is same grape variety, Žilavka, given a massive amount of skin contact. 2 weeks, open fermentation in a big open, we don't know, but a big open vessel of some kind, open to the elements with the skins left in. So the white skins, much like red wine production, fermented, warm as it gently warms up as it ferments with those skins in it.
So the whole lot's thrown in.
Everything's in.
All thrown in.
Whole lot. Bit of stems,
and the skins. And over 2 weeks, you can imagine, normally with white wine, you try and press the juice off maybe after a few hours, but on the whole, pretty quickly. And you don't ferment the red wine, the white wine with its skins, because the skins is where all the bitterness is. That's why red wines have got bitterness. It all comes from the skins. So if you then do a white wine with white grapes and ferment the wine for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks
open.
All the bitterness in the stems and the skins is going to come out into the wine. And of course, any colour is going to come as well. And I suspect a bit of oxidation in there and all kinds of things going on.
But because all the skins are in there, because all the stems are in there, it's got this natural, anti-oxygenation sort of thing going on. So it kind of works. And you don't need lots of sulfites to preserve it because it's got all of that going on already. What I love about this is it's not dramatically heavily skinsy. It's not grippy and tannic in that way, but it's just got this gentle chew to it. And the fruit has gone from being, gentle white, yellow fruits that we talked about before, a bit of citrus and zest, to being bergamot, to being orange, to being rich.
It's not just auto-suggestion. Orange is there,
really
isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a tangerine. Yeah. Exactly that.
And there's something else which we don't get much in England, but persimmons. Now, they're called kaki in France. And persimmons is a wonderful yellow-orangey fruit. And I believe about 1 or 2% of persimmons have got incredibly bitter skins. And you're never quite sure which one it's going to be. It's a bit like padron peppers.
I was going to say, it's padron peppers.
1 in 100 is really hot. I've never had the 1 in 100 yet, but I have had persimmons incredibly bitter.
We had the padrons.
Just a bit of that skinsy bitterness. And it does taste of oranges.
It totally tastes of oranges.
And it's got good acidity.
And it gives it that pithy, extra structure. We're here on a hot day. We're talking about a country that in the summer, we're doing summer serves. It's incredibly hot. The mistake you could easily make when you're thinking about wines like this from them being on paper is that this would be heavy. It would be sort of not the ideal summer drinking wine. And actually, I could easily drink a glass and a half of this. Fantastic with food, but you don't necessarily need it. It doesn't become automatically foodie. And, again, pork, white meats, something with a bit of fat to it, something with a bit of sort of salt to it would be beautiful.
That acidity. It's like an orange acidity of some sort. It's not an unnatural acidity at all. It's like oranges. I think and there's a little bit of earthiness coming towards the end, but again, it's a nice earthiness, as though it's an earthiness which someone has just put a tiny few drops of sugar or fudge onto the earth and then wrap them together. But I think that's a very good wine.
Both you and I would say, speaking on your behalf, but I hope I'm in the right direction, but I think both you and I like an orange wine, but we feel it can go too far sometimes. I don't want orange wine for orange wine's sake. I don't want the dogmatic orange wine police to chase me either. But I think what you're looking for in any wine, you want elegance. You want a combination of acidity and freshness and fruit and texture. And actually, when orange wine's done really well, it can have a heightened element of that textural thing that works.
And I think what we said earlier, be adventurous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try a Bosnian wine. Yeah. Try one from a grape called Žilavka or Žilavka, which you've never heard of before. And maybe if you haven't had an orange wine, well, this is the way they used to make wine 8,000 years ago. Yeah. And you can get one in Bosnia. 3 reasons to try a Bosnian wine.
I had carp last time. When I was closest here, we were eating quite a lot of carp, which seems to be the local vibe. I don't know whether that's what they were just trying to sort of, push on to me. But it was big, meaty white fish. This would go well. I'd be happy with that. Come on, here we go.
The roses are doing well from my wine today.
The roses are doing incredibly well. Right, here we go. Different colour. You've noticed this. Come on, Oz. What are we going to call it?
You've noticed this. So this one it's called C, and it comes from the Blatina.
It does. You've got it. Blatina. Exactly.
Which is very unusual because
now here we get to talk about it, don't we? Full disclosure behind the scenes. Oz and I arrived today very excitedly, going, "I've got a secret about one of the grapes that you're not going to know, and I'm going to release it." And we'd both cottoned onto this little fact, which is quite exciting. It is a female-only vine, which is incredibly rare. Most vines in the world have been selected to be both male and female, hermaphroditic, so they self-pollinate. They toss up their pollen, it lands, everyone's a winner. And that is pretty much exclusively down to the fact that farmers, for centuries and centuries and centuries, millennia, have chosen to propagate their vineyards using these plants. Not the case for Blatina, female only, which means, Oz, what does it require?
It means that you have to plant other vines amongst the Blatina. And the chief one that they use is called... Oh no, tip of my tongue, what is it? Turnjak. Come on,
Turnjak.
Turnjak.
Not a single vowel in Turnjak. And
no need.
Exactly. And Turnjak is a male vine, and so they're co-planted. Tosses it up.
Tosses it all up. And all the vines.
Come on. How fun's that? Yeah. So, what do we think about this?
Right.
It's giving plum. It's going plum. It's got richness.
It's 2022,
cherry.
So it's about 3 years old.
Yeah.
It's a bit more mature than I expected.
It is, yeah. It's got dry spice to it, hasn't it? It's got that little oxidative thing. It's nice.
got a little bit of oak barrel aging on it, but
does.
Not an enormous amount. I think the point about this is that I don't really know much about the Blatina grape. So I can't say, and this, by the way, is another point about going to things like grapes like this in somewhere like Bosnia Herzegovina. There's no should, because we don't know what the wine should taste like. There's no point in me and Tom saying, oh, this is what Blatina should taste like, because we don't know. And in fact, I'm not sure that anybody really knows, so you can make it however you want, whatever works best.
When I read about it, people talk about richness of fruit, they talk about coffee, they talk about cocoa. I don't get loads and loads of that. There is a savouriness, there's an earthiness, there is a gentle cocoa-y, perhaps coffee spice, but not overwhelmingly so. It's not big and lactic and chocolatey. It's got a real nice line of acidity and freshness. It's got soft, grippy tannins. It could be lower ripeness Grenache. It could be. It's got a bit of vibe. It's got a bit of energy to it. You know.
Interestingly enough, they have got some Grenache.
Yes, they do.
In their vineyard.
Good old
Mr. Blind Taster. There might be. After all, what are they going to do with their Grenache?
Come on.
The Skegro family have got 1 hectare of Grenache.
Aha! Come on. I'm happy with that.
You're looking so smug. You're looking so pleased with
over
yourself.
The moon.
All right,
well, there we go.
What's the grape variety again that they self-pollinate with?
Come on, what do we got? Turnjak. More on that later. Go and check out Skegro, beautiful Bosnia Herzegovina wines.
Good stuff.
This is just one of our WineAlive Summer Sipping series videos with Oz Clarke and me, Tom Surgey. If you'd like to know more about the wines we've tasted, head over to our blog at wine-alive.com and check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And thanks again for watching. We hope you sip splendidly this summer.